Hi, I'm Chef Greg. Welcome back to the forum for another episode of Equipped for Flavor. Today we're going to be making a braised boneless short rib with garlic mashed potatoes and roasted asparagus. Bought a big chunk of meat. We're portioned it down. I'm going to show you how we can take this 4-hour braising process and get it all done at once, and then we can preserve that for later. So I got the beef out, room temp. We got it seasoned, salt and pepper all over. Got a little bit of oil in our pan. We're going to crank this up and get it nice and hot. We want this to start just about smoking. Once we get it up there, we're going to put our meat in there. We're going to put it in fat side down. You notice I left the fat on top of the beef here. It's going to render out real nice and add a lot of flavor. Again, using these Freeling black cube pans that I love so much. The non-stick, the metal utensil, really gives you the best of both worlds. So our pan's nice and hot now. While that's going, I'm gonna turn my demi-glace on in the back. I made a red wine demi-glace the other day. We're gonna heat some of that up so we can braise in that. And I wanna peek at this. That's beautiful caramelization happening there. See, a lot of that fat's been cooked down. That's what we're looking for. So now I'm gonna take this and just rotate it around. We're gonna hit every side. We wanna sear all that flavor in. Once it's all done, I have a pan here ready. I'm gonna braise in this pan. And into my hot pan, I'm gonna take my mirepoix. Mirepoix is carrots, celery, and onions. Season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Usually you'd add some tomato paste into it and then deglaze with some wine. I've already done that with my demi-glace already. So I'm going to take my demi-glace, put a tiny bit in here once these are done. I'm gonna cut that heat. I'm gonna put that right over top of our braised meat there. And again, nothing sticks to this pan at all. Beautiful. Now we're gonna take a little bit more of our demi. We're gonna pour it over top of this now. Just about 3/4 of the way up the sides of those. Just perfect. Now that we have these all wrapped up nice and tight, we're gonna take them and put them in our Vulcan Chef Combi. We're gonna get that set for 3.5 hours, 325 degrees. Let them braise out. So our short ribs are done. We're gonna take them out of here. We're gonna put them on a sheet tray, and we're gonna place these into our Chilewich blast chiller. So this is a TBC 13 blast chiller. Inside here, you see there's 13 racks. Comes with 3 internal probes. I'm gonna grab one of my probes here. I'm gonna stick it inside of the product right into the middle. I'm gonna set it down. Notice I picked the biggest one. I'm gonna close this door, and I'm gonna tell it what I want it to do. This has it in an auto start function. I'm actually gonna go to the manual function here because I pre-programmed a recipe. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna select my product. And this is where you can store all of your recipes that you decide. How do you want it to cool? Do you want it to be fast? Do you want it to be slow? If you go in here by temp, you can change the temperature, how fast you want it to get to the temp. Do you want it to be standard? Do you want it to go super fast where it chills down quicker? Do you want it to be energy saving, which is it's uses about 10% less energy? Or delicate if it's a delicate product in there and you just want to refresh it. People use that sometimes for sushi or for salads, just to kind of really crisp it up, just drops that temp nicely. But we're actually gonna go into the product here. We're gonna scroll down to where I have by temp, speed, and short rib. I'm gonna select that. Okay, I'm gonna select my probe 3. It's gonna ask who's the user. It's me, Greg, and press start. People often ask, why 3 different probes? Because sometimes there's 3 separate products. This short rib, you could have a soup in there, you could have chili in there, you could have a larger roast, and you want each individual one to be tracked. So you could set 3 different items in there and you could track 3 different temperatures to make sure that each individual product gets to where it's supposed to go. So our Chilewich beeped at us, told us it was done. So it did its job, it chilled our product down. Got all those juices locked in and we got it cooled down safely. Looks great. No juices leaked out all over the tray. It sealed everything right inside. Cool thing now is I can print myself out a little paper HACCP tracking. It's like we're at the deli. I can leave that right on the same tray with my product so I know when and how it was cooked and cooled. Help me track it and make sure everybody stays safe. Now that our short ribs have chilled properly in our Chilewich blast chiller, we're going to take them over here and we're going to vacuum seal them in our Berkel 350 chamber vacuum sealer. Really nice in this chamber here because I can actually take out a lot of these different steps to allow the bag to sit up so that I can keep some liquid inside of it, make sure it doesn't pour out. There's 30 programmable options on here that you can set up. You can program them all yourself. So I'm gonna take these here short ribs, I'm gonna put them in our vacuum bags with a little bit of our sauce. and we're gonna get them sealed up. Now it's as easy as straightening our bag out, laying it inside the chamber, right across our vacuum seal bars, there's a top and a bottom, and all we do is close it. It's gonna fill up that chamber with pressure, and it's gonna find out how much it needs to vacate. Lid will open when it's done. There we have our finished product. No air whatsoever inside of it. Our sauce is right around our short rib, looking beautiful. Now that I've shown you how to save some of those short ribs for later, let's dive into making one we can eat now. Got some roasted garlic mashed potatoes here. I like to get a little bit fancy with them. See my chef's combi behind me there. We got the asparagus roasting. And by the sound of it, it's done. Perfection. So now we'll get our potatoes on our plate, some of our delicious roasted asparagus, and we'll finish it off with our beautiful short rib. A little bit of this demi. Nice herbage right on top. And that is a beautiful braised short rib. Didn't even need to get this knife. Oh man. That's what I'm looking for. Let's use this sharp knife to get some of these potatoes so we can at least use it. 4 out of 4 stars. Again, I'm Chef Greg. Thank you for joining us in the forum for another episode of Equipped for Flavor. If you could leave now so I could finish my short rib, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.